Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and may the force be with you today, December 15th, 2024. Welcome to all of the citizens of the Republic. Oh, sorry, wrong universe, but that's okay. It's still meant with love. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. This is, of course, Trekking Across the Universe. It is the Sunday Night Review. I'm Roger. You know who that is. Michael, what's going on?
I'm just here having a good time with all of our Star Wars friends.
And we have a new member. Well, I don't know if he's a member of the Sith or the Jedi. I don't know. But would you introduce him, Michael? Bring him aboard right now?
Yeah, well, I would like to introduce Tyler Herwig. He was on my show, Talented Universe, 2 weeks ago? A week ago?
Something like that, a week ago, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And he's a singer-songwriter, so kind of cool. And we were talking and found out he was a big Star Wars fan. So I asked him, hey, would you like to come and join our little crew? Not
our skeleton.
We don't have SM33 in here, so we're working on that. But
that was funny. Our crew. That was very good. Okay, that's excellent. So Tyler, welcome aboard. And since you weren't here for last week's episode, let's just get into it. Let's be nosy, Tyler. Okay. What is your Star Wars love? Have you seen? Tell me what it means to you, Star Wars.
I have been a huge Star Wars fan, honestly, my whole life. I was a pretty awkward kid growing up. So I was that kid who in school was like reading Star Wars comic books and getting made fun of for being a nerd. Like that was me. But I always found that like allowing my mind to drift off to this galaxy far, far away was so comforting. And I kind of have this weird relationship with Star Wars where it's like one of my only things in life that I really love. There's like my family, my wife and my kids. I love music, hence why I became a recording artist. And then I love Star Wars, and that's it. Like, and if I ever couldn't sing again, I would start a Star Wars podcast or like YouTube channel. Like that's it. And it's so pervasive in my life that my daughter is actually named after Luke Skywalker's wife from Legends. So
yeah. Is that Mara Jade or no?
Yep, Mara Jade.
It is Mara Jade, huh? Okay.
Yep. I tricked my wife into that name by paying all of my friends $20 to exclusively call the baby bump Mara Jade or MJ until finally my wife was like, I guess the universe, God has decided this is little baby Mara. And then I told her where the name came from and she got really mad at me. And I decided
she didn't divorce you?
She didn't divorce me. She was stuck with. She stays with me because of my earning potential. Let's be real.
There you go.
But I made it worse. And actually, in the delivery room, my wife had a C-section, and as they are delivering my daughter to me over the curtain, I whip out my phone. I yell, "Stop!" And I whip out my phone, and my wife gets really excited because she thinks I'm going to make this like little video of us meeting our daughter for the first time. But no, I actually play the opening Star Wars Scroll theme song. So over the curtain, you hear da 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 da, and that is the first thing my daughter ever heard as she was into this world was the Star Wars theme song. So I'm a big Star Wars fan, to say the least.
So does she sing this when she's asleep, or?
No, not really.
Not really.
A little disappointing, but she also loves Star Wars. It's one of her favorite things now is watching Star Wars with me, and we have little lightsaber fights. Yeah, we've got her all decked out with all the stuff from Grogu and Padme. She has a little Padme costume, and my son, who's going to be born here in 3 weeks.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah.
His whole room is Star Wars. So like we've got these big stickers that say, I am a Jedi like my father before me and stuff. He has a Millennium Falcon rug. I mean, it's everywhere.
Do you have a name for him yet?
I do. It is Star Wars related, but I'm not allowed to say it yet.
Oh, okay.
But it is. I can't give it. It is also deep lore. So you can't. It's not like Darth Vader Herwig, although that would be pretty awesome. Being honest. But you'd have to be.
Hopefully, it's not Palpatine.
It is not Palpatine. That's too obvious. Okay. You gotta be deep nerd, just like Mara Jade. That's not in any of the movies. It's not in the shows. You got to read the books or the comics to know that, and same with so.
Well, that's cool, and I'm glad. I know Roger's going to say it too, but I am so glad that you joined us, Tyler. So.
Oh, yeah, and and learning this as well. So obviously, you don't care about the movies in that some are good or some are bad. You're just a Star Wars fan, right, Tyler?
Absolutely. Like I definitely have my thoughts and opinions on certain movies and creative choices that were made by Disney executives where I'm like, did that really make sense to do in that particular aspect? Or, should we have developed that character that way? Like there were some things I think they did right. There were some things they did wrong. But ultimately, I just love the storytelling and really what George Lucas originally set up, and the universe that expanded initially from that is what I'm most passionate about. And I've seen there have been some highlights with the Disney stuff, and there've been some serious lowlights as well. So,
as we move forward, we'll talk about all that stuff. But we're obviously going to be talking about Skeleton Crew. But I want to ambush you with one final question. This is okay. A Star Wars story, Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
What is your opinion on that movie?
I like it, to be honest. I think it's a fun movie. I definitely think, again, I think I would have told, if I had that kind of creative brain, I probably would have told it a little bit differently. But I think it was still a great film, and it didn't take me out of the Star Wars universe as much as some other Star Wars projects have. Like The Acolyte, I didn't really even feel like I was watching Star Wars, if I'm being honest. So even with all the lightsabers and stuff, I was just like, this doesn't feel right to me. And I get a much different feeling from Skeleton Crew, where I'm like, I'm still in it a little bit. It's a different kind of story, but I'm still in it.
That is excellent. I'm glad that we have that. But Star Wars is the equalizer. We can always discuss that. And I'm glad to know that there's good and bad. There is with us as well. Art54 says, hi, guys. Sorry I can't be there tonight, but wanted to say hi to Tyler. Glad to see you on board NDB Media's Skeleton Crew. Hope you can join us for other shows. And Michael, maybe he could do a song. Well, that's ambushing him. We don't want to do that.
How the night goes. We'll see if I like you guys.
All right, fair enough. And look at that. Lethal Migraine. I want a full Darth Maul movie. So that is cool. All right. Well, if we had a Darth Maul, we have to have a Boba Fett. It was part of the original plans, but it is what it is. So, at Tyler, thank you. I appreciate you allowing us to jam that in there. Let's go back a little bit. Episodes 1 and 2. We've already reviewed them. Look, another comment. We agree with you with Acolyte. I don't want to really get any more into the Acolyte other than to say that Michael and I were 15 seconds from going live
on a review show.
We pulled the plug. And we're not going to get into any more other than to say, with all the vitriol out there, Tyler, I'm glad we didn't review it.
Yeah. I can agree. It was a pretty explosive thing for people.
Oh, yeah. Look, I did see it through, and there was a story there. I do have to admit, but there was too much other stuff in there, and it just.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that for me, that's where it fell apart. Is you had a story, and you got too into the B plot and the C plot to let the A plot really shine. And I think if you would have done that, and stayed focused on that A plot, like you didn't need a B or a C. If you focus on A, it all would have panned out very differently and set you up for a season 2 or 3 where you could have gone, down a couple other rabbit holes. But
okay, he corrected the word. I still have no problem with the Acolyte, besides it was boring. We're not prepared to argue that right now.
No.
That's a different podcast episode.
Probably, yes, that will be. But all right, now, finally, episodes 1 and 2. Why don't you give us an idea of what you thought about it? Because we obviously have already reviewed 1 and 2.
Yeah. I really enjoy where this whole series is going right now. It definitely is not the same take on Star Wars that we've felt, I think, throughout the other cinematic productions, whether it be film or TV. However, this is still fun. It's kind of like watching the Goonies in Star Wars, right? Or like the Little Rascals. Like, it is kind of this fun little adventure that still feels very Star Wars, but it also feels more kid friendly. And it's not trying to walk a line between like, we need to entertain everyone in the world. It knows its audience and it's really focusing on that. And I think that's what makes it fun, you know? As far as episodes 1 and 2, I thought that it set up the character development pretty well. And then we'll get it more into it with episode 3, but episode 3 is where I think things really started to take a turn, and you see the lore start to expand and set up what is going to, hopefully, be a really beautiful story.
You know, Tyler, Michael, my thought, Tyler, yes to all of that. I believe that we're on a long-term setup. This first season may be an entire setup for everything else that's going. It seems like they're taking their time in these episodes. And we learned in episode 3, which is entitled, very interesting as an astrogation problem. Of course, the program is created by Christopher Ford and John Watts, written by Christopher Ford and John Watts, and directed by David Lowery. So we get into it and we learn that Ad Aden, we already got the hints of it, is folklore, legend. I mean, deep into the history. And we even have this image, not necessarily a pictograph, of worlds that were hidden by the Republic.
Yeah.
So who knows what they were, but they were all destroyed except for Ad Aden.
From what we know.
From what we know. I like that. You're right. Okay. Guys, let's get to it. Michael, jump in. Tyler, come on, let's get into it. I don't think we're going to go beat by beat on this one.
Sure.
We can just talk about the program as a whole. So if you want to, something that you want to, look, I have several quotes that I did appreciate when the kids, I believe, I forget the young lady's name, Mini Solo. Is it Frey? Oh, jeez.
I just had it up. Kim? Or you're talking about KB?
Oh, KB's her assistant, the one with the eyes. Lobot, right? That's Lobot. But the young lady, I forget her name. I have the notes right here. But you have it, Michael?
I thought I did, but now I don't think I do.
Okay, the Solo-esque one.
Yeah, I know who you mean. Yeah,
I love her line.
The captain.
Oh, that's right, the captain. I love.
Yes.
We should blast off before he gets back. I did appreciate that line. And of course, then KB says a little bit later, I calculated the odds. So that's a famous Han Solo line, but it was over to KB. There is more, but those are some of the lines that stood out. I did appreciate when he says, I don't trust her 100%. And he's talking about, he says, well, she might try to stab us in the back. And they all flinch. Well, not really, but never mind. You'll understand when you're an older
humor, which I like.
That was good. Now there are other moments as well, but let me see. Lito Migrant says, I haven't watched this show yet. What day do the new episodes drop? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday?
It's Wednesday or Thursday. I didn't get to see it till Thursday.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it is Wednesday or Thursday. But
I think it's Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it was Wednesdays normally, but there was a series that was dropping them on Tuesdays. Was that the cartoon, Michael?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, they moved it up to Tuesdays. And that was something that we reviewed as well, which was a lot of fun. That was The Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. Did you get a chance to see that one, Tyler?
Absolutely. I actually really enjoyed The Bad Batch, so that one was fun.
We did. That was our pleasure being able to review that one all the way through. It was really cool. But okay.
Back to the subject at hand.
Yes, I'm talking way too much, guys. Come on, jump on in.
So there were a couple plot points that I really appreciated, one of which being that they didn't let us sit with the question of, is this guy a Jedi? Jude Law's character. I was a little nervous they were going to stretch that out, longer and longer, but it really, that didn't happen. At least I don't think it did. Like, I'm pretty confident he's not a Jedi. To be honest, I don't think he's even Force sensitive. And I like how they kind of set that up with that Han Solo girl, whose name I'm forgetting, even though we just said it, with her character, where she's like, there's a million other ways that he could be doing this trick.
A string.
A string, a magnet, whatever. And I really like that because it plays into how the character was set up from episode 1 as being a pirate captain. And I think that's kind of cool. So I'm curious to see how his character develops, but I really appreciate that they gave those explanations and didn't kind of just draw out the question as much as I think they could have.
Well, he did make a comment, and I can't remember what episode. He basically said everybody has the Force.
Yes.
You can use it. I mean, he did say that. Was it 2?
I think it was 2, yeah.
So he did say that. So it was kind of like, he said, heck, you learn how to do it, you can do it, so.
Well, that was something that George Lucas really focused on, is that the Force, it truly is in everyone to some degree. There's just some people that have it at a higher level. They've got it really potent with the midichlorian count. And I mean, it's like any skill. Like, I'm naturally a very talented singer in some people's minds, and there's some people that start down here and have to work up to here. And so I think it's kind of cool to see that portrayed really in this Star Wars universe, where in previous cinematic entries, it's been, I think, you magically have it. Like when I look at Rey from episodes 7, 8, and 9, she just magically is more powerful than everyone else very quickly with no explanation. And so to have someone who can use the Force, maybe can use the Force, but he kind of stinks at it, I thought was actually a really refreshing take, especially to not let this become just a Jedi-driven show. It's about this kid pirate adventure.
Who wants to be a Jedi?
Right, absolutely. They are the coolest.
Yeah, they definitely are. I also appreciate how we're starting to learn the disconnect that Aden has, because these kids are still in awe at the concept of a Jedi.
Yeah.
And they have no idea what has happened just I guess maybe 20 some years before. They have no idea. They think the Republic, I believe in episode 3, when the family is gathered, they're talking about, well, let's talk to the supervisor and let's get an emergency call to the Republic.
Mm-hmm.
They believe the Republic is still around. I mean, it's existed for 1,000 generations. Why all of a sudden would it not be? So they have no idea that the Jedi are extinct, and it's a shame. So I believe in the episode, someone mentions, them about the Jedi. Oh, what? Did you miss the war? What happened? So they have no clue the Jedi have been virtually eliminated, and I think that's probably going to be a shock for them, because in episode 1, when they discover that door which leads to the ship, the first thing, it's a Jedi temple. It's a Jedi temple. That's what they thought it was. And I think they're going to be in for a big shock. I don't know how much it's going to affect them, but it was also cool at the switching gears at the very end of the episode, where he says, look, I'm in it with you guys. I'm just as lost. Look, maybe I can take you guys back, get a small reward. We'll be partners. Yeah, you're not partners. No. You work for us. That was cool. Deal? He's like, deal. That was kind of cool. And then the battle that happened, it was Star Wars-esque, obviously, where he put the kids in the
cockpit
laser mounts. Yeah, those things. That was cool. Because when Wim, he's like, oh my. I mean, if you notice that when Wim starts to rotate, he's already firing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
And that would be me too. I mean, I do that playing games right now. It's just I start firing before I know what I'm aiming at. Like, absolutely. And so, again, I think that just reinforces that kind of kid mentality of the character that I really appreciate about this show.
Michael and I did talk about that briefly, that it is directed to kids in the audience, but I don't believe it's a kid show.
Yeah.
It's kid friendly.
Yes, absolutely. But it's definitely, like I was saying like earlier, I think it has its audience figured out. It's not saying other people from the outside can't appreciate it, but I think it's got it figured out where like there are other Star Wars projects that I would say like, oh, this is probably not quite as kid friendly, like even episode 3, for example, you have the slaughter of hundreds of children very quickly by one guy. And I'm like, I can't believe we were showing that to kids back in 2003 or whatever. Where this, I don't feel like we're going to have that same kind of Same kind of thing, which I like.
Yeah, that was a horrifying scene. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I do enjoy. I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed it from the first episode. Now, I asked Roger a question last week, and he didn't know. Has Adam ever been mentioned in books or anything else that you know, Tyler?
Not that
Or is this something new? Okay.
No, I think it's something new, which I'm really curious to see how that pans out long term. Because, like, are they going to get the kids delivered home, or are they going to pull the curtain back on Aten, and let everyone on that planet know they're Fall of the Republic? Like, that could be a really cool plot point that I think should be explored versus just like, we got them home safe,
Yeah, they got him home safe. But is those coordinates, are they correct, or is it to some other place?
I don't know. There's a lot of plants in Star Wars.
It could go a lot of different ways, I think. So
yeah.
Well, remember, they were narrowed down to 10,000 worlds.
Oh yeah. Well, that's not many. That's not many at all.
I don't know if you guys are familiar, but there's a new Star Wars. It's the Star Wars Jedi Survivor video game that came out. Where actually, just like I think a year or two ago, where one of the big story plot points in that video game was hiding a planet from the Empire. So I'm kind of like, are we going to pull in some other aspects of that? Are we going to see, some more cross references to the Old Republic or some of these other non-mainstream storylines that have been discussed throughout the Disney's ownership? Like, it could be a really exciting thing to see some of these video game characters get brought into the show that I think could happen.
Well, Tyler, look, I know a little bit about what Legends is now, the original stuff. I don't pretend to be an expert, but I believe you are clearly more than I am. I was telling Michael that the Jude Law character goes back. It was mentioned. Do you recall knowing of the Jude Law character in the lore before?
I don't think so.
I understood that this is something that happened like 30 years ago. And I don't know if it was in a comic book or a magazine. I'm going to have to find that article again. But that's when he asked me. I said, yes, I believe the character is from way back. And it was a tangential thing. It was just a character it was like a one-off. And they pulled that character back. Now, it may not be the Jude Law character. It may be someone else in there.
Sure.
But when he asked about Aden, I was like, yeah, I don't recall that one. I don't know. And I don't believe it was in there.
Yeah, and he's gone by a few different names. So is it the name he gives when he's a Jedi, which is like Jad Nawud or whatever? Or is it the Crimson Jack? Which name are we referring to?
Yes, and that the Jedi name is the one I believe that goes back. But he may not be that Jedi. He probably just took that name.
That could be interesting.
Yeah. It could very well be. But I do want to welcome everyone who's in the chat room, everyone who's watching us. Please, folks, let's do a quick roll call. Let us know who you are, where you hail from. Let us know what you think of the episode. But yes, there were significant plot points in the story. This story was a little bit longer than normal. It was about 38 to 40 minutes, which a lot of these stories are running about 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But the first, let's ignore The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and all that. The first one was 45 minutes. Then it was 30, and now we're at 38. So it's hit and miss. Don't know what it's going to be. But I like that it's longer than 30 minutes. Michael, Tyler, did you guys notice? I wasn't watching the clock. The episode moved.
No.
It moved very well, and it was great. And I'm not watching the clock. That, I'm invested. It's a good story.
Yeah, it just is one of those things where you kind of get sucked in and the rest of the world falls to the wayside because it's moving at an appropriate pace and kind of ticking all the boxes that it needs to tick. I think this is the win that Disney has needed with Star Wars for a while. So, or at least it's setting itself up to be.
I told Michael that last week. This might be the win that she's been wanting for a while. So, Kathleen, if it is successful, you wanted to go out on a high. So who knows?
This would be a good high for you to leave on, Kathleen.
Yeah, victory. I did appreciate that character, the owl. I thought that was kind of new. And the whole thing,
cool.
Crimson Jack knew that she was messing with them.
Yeah.
That she was taking a while. He said, "I don't completely trust you," and that was really cool. But it was interesting how she reached out to KB at the very end. If you
Yeah.
need someone, contact me.
Mhm.
I don't believe she is a friendly character, though.
Really?
Yeah, for my call, I just don't believe she is. Uh,
I'm on the fence. I'm not sure.
yeah.
See how
Because why did she just reach out to KB? Did she think she had a connection with KB or just?
KB went to her.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember, as they were leaving, she, I guess, all the pads and books and things had fallen on. If they had books, I don't know. I don't think there were books, but and she went to go and see how she was.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So they spoke. It may have been genuine. I just don't trust her because that's exactly what Crimson Jack said. I don't trust her, and sure enough. So did she call the New Republic?
I don't think they said if it was the New Republic. They just said she called X-Wings.
Yeah.
So that, I mean,
her local X-wing troop. I don't know. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Kind of how I see the story going is that Jude Law's character will betray the kids because they get into a scuffle with his old pirate crew, and then I could see them calling this owl chick for help, and then Jude Law's character has another short redemption and is like, just kidding, I was trying to help this whole time. And then that's kind of how season 1 would wrap up. They get free of the kidnapping from this other pirate crew, and then that gives a solid contained story, but also has an opening for a season 2 if needed. So that's kind of my prediction.
I understand the ratings are high in the 90s on IMDb and others. And on Rotten Tomatoes, I understand that the series is doing very well. So I expect there to be a second season already. I'm looking forward to it. That's interesting, Tyler. I haven't mapped out. I'm not. I appreciate that. I could see that happening. So, I'm good. I'm not worried about what's going to happen. I want to see where Disney's going to take us. Tyler, forgive me. I'm going to go back a little bit, guys. I'm not sure if I told you guys. Tyler, obviously, you know the story. Michael does, though. When I sat down over here in Southern California at the right there in Universal City at the theaters, I was there for the 7 p.m. showing of The Phantom Menace. And I remember saying to myself, my wife was next to me, my coworker was next to me, and it was opening day, and the credits started, and when it said Lucasfilm, I remember saying to myself, George, you've got my money. Entertain me. And that was it. And I was already dude, I'm in for episodes 2 and 3. Just entertain me. I was blown away by The Phantom Menace. Whatever. And I have the same thought process here. I want to see where they're going to take me.
Yeah.
So I am open. Michael, have you been thinking about where it's going to go? I haven't. I'm really amazed that Tyler has.
I thought about it, but then again, I go, I just want to be surprised. So I just.
No,
I have been wrong so many other times trying to figure out what's going to happen. So.
Hey, let me tell you, we got close on Bad Batch, dude.
Well, we did. We got close.
Yeah, we did.
Not close enough in my book. So.
Yeah. But,
see, and I kind of love that. Like, I like to make my predictions, but I hope I'm wrong. Like, I am not a screenwriter, I'm not that kind of storyteller. So like, if I can predict what's going to happen, you didn't do your job writing a very interesting story. Like a Joe Schmo. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a diehard Star Wars fan, but like, I shouldn't be able to predict where this is going to go. Give me a big surprise. Like, keep it hidden from the internet, hidden from the world. And that's what I really hope it beats my expectations, and I'm dead wrong about what happens because something more interesting was written in.
I think you just got Michael and myself off guard because I don't think we've ever made predictions this early. I think we start maybe halfway through.
Usually,
which will be next episode.
Next episode, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then we'll probably start doing that. So I do like that. Now, is there going to be a problem between the kids as well? because it looks like Wim loves this guy. There's
Yeah.
no doubt. KB, and I had her name right here. Oh my goodness. I think it's Fern or something like that.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're weary of him. I mean, Fern said we should blast off before he gets back. But he said, don't blast off before. Yeah, maybe we should. And then the conversation, as I mentioned earlier, where he says, you don't trust me. And KB says, I calculated the odds. I thought that was so funny. Again, that was almost C-3PO-esque to Han Solo in The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what one of the famous lines? Never tell me the odds.
I think there's definitely got to be some internal conflict between that crew. And I think it'll come down to Wim still wanting to have an adventure, which he wants to do with Jude Law's character. And everyone else wants to go home. They're going to get, they're already homesick because they never meant to leave. And Wim is like, I'm finally free to do this. And I'm with a Jedi, right? Like I'm with the guy that I want to be with. This is who I've looked up to for my whole, or who I've looked up to my whole life is the idea of this person. And so there's going to be a split and someone's going to have to come rescue somebody else, whether it's Jude Law and Wim go rescue the kid. I'm following my prediction here, go rescue the other kids because they got kidnapped by the other pirate crew, which would be actually that's a really good idea. Pirate crew kidnaps the other three, which then causes conflict between Wim and Jude Law's character to have a falling out because Wim would be like, a Jedi would never do that. Like, you got to help, and Jude Law's character would want to avoid that at all costs. So
now, did you gentlemen catch that when they voted, and then of course she said, well, it falls to me on a tie. Did Ellis actually enunciate his vote, or did Wim say he's voting with me? Did you guys catch that?
Wim just said that.
He did.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he's not on board for this adventure. He's ready to go home to his family.
Yeah. But Ellis did. It was funny. He was flying the ship. And even they're like, why him? You know what? I don't know. It was kind of interesting. Maybe he's trying to win him over. Could very well be. So I wonder if it'll be split down the middle that way, or if it's, as you say, all three are homesick, which I guess they are. It is just Wim. Again, when he went up into the turret and he had the canopy, man, his eyes lit up.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Gentlemen, our eyes lit up when we were on Star Tours and the shuttle makes the jump, right? Did you guys ever get on Star Tours? Were you ever able?
No.
Oh, gentlemen, I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Wow. Yeah, I had that. The very same look that Wim had, I had it when the shuttle makes the jump to hyperspace. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Okay. But all right. Michael, what else? What other comments did you have? Maybe about Adan. What's the secret of this planet?
I have thought about it.
Okay.
I mean, I just thought it was going back to episode 1, when they first got to the pirate planet depot, and Wim brings out his money, and they're all staring at it. Could that have been the planet they might have been making the currency because they have some special ore on that planet? I was thinking, maybe, is that what it is?
Remember, Dad said, I'm giving you lunch money for the week.
For the week.
And he paid with one, and the bar person, actually, the transporter person died, right? They just ran off. And then the bar person was like, hey, where'd you get this from? Because it was pure. It was like gold. It was, yeah. So that's interesting. I didn't think, is that?
Well, that's the only thing I have thought about, just because of the reaction in the bar, if you want to say. And I mean, it looked brand new.
Yeah.
And it obviously wasn't counterfeit because they knew it wasn't counterfeit.
Yeah, that was my thought too. Is that it's probably like where the Republic's main currency came from.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a secret place.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Wow. So and think about it. At Aden, they all have, oh my goodness, they all have a role to play. They don't have a choice.
Yeah, they're
No.
At Aden. Yeah, they're assigned, so kind of like Futurama a little bit, where you have your whatever you're going to be in society. But I did catch that. Remember, they're not talking about contacting the prime minister. They're talking about contacting the supervisor. Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking, I mean, I might be wrong, but I just thought that seemed, from the kind of the plot points that they've been throwing out, that might be what it is.
Yeah, it just would beg the question, like, how did you not know the Republic fell if you were supplying the currency for the Republic?
But then again, maybe they were, but something happened and they lost communication, and they don't want to tell anybody in the general public that they really don't have communication with the Republic anymore.
Sure, so it's just a keep on doing what you're doing kind of thing.
Keep on.
Keep on doing what you're doing, because if you don't, then you have anarchy. Your sole role is to be the bank or the mine, whatever.
Or both.
It could very well. Ooh. And only the very select few know.
Yeah.
Now, the droids mentioned it's forbidden to speak to anyone outside of the barrier.
Mm-hmm.
So it's protected. What is it? A mist? Is it an electronic shield? I don't know. Because the craft flew through it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we know.
But then they also said you can only see it. The kids said,
you go see it at night.
The elephant said you can only see it at night.
Okay.
You can't see it during the day, the barrier. You can only see it at night. So that was kind of interesting.
Look, if you look at the numbers, folks, even in a galaxy as large as that, or the galaxy being as big as it is, there's 10,000 possible worlds that they narrowed it down. And they mentioned we just narrowed, we took off 99.9% of the planets. And if you think about it, if you've listened to what astrophysicists say and all that stuff, do you guys know that statistically there should be 2 million worlds in our galaxy similar to Earth? Isn't that crazy? Just in our one galaxy. If you look at the number of the billions of stars that there are, and it's like 1% of 1% of 1% of whatever, there should be 2 million Earth-like worlds in our galaxy. That's crazy. I know that's a little bit out there. Sorry, guys.
And how many of them are the banks and the places that mint the money?
I do appreciate, though, that there would be secrets that the Republic would have. And I'm interested to know what the other planets were.
Sure.
And to see if there was a connection. As Tyler said a little while ago, maybe they haven't been destroyed.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe it's a great collector or something. You never know. It could be some super weapon. I don't know. But it's interesting. I did appreciate that concept that the Republic hid worlds due to their importance.
And I think that also, again, we'll beg the question a little bit here. Who was the one that directed the hiding? Was it before Chancellor Palpatine, truly rose to be the Supreme Chancellor? Like, how close to the fall of the Republic was it hidden?
Yeah, well, we don't know.
Was it something back from the old Republic, like
way back
years? It's been hidden this whole time. Like, that could be interesting too, and I think that could be a really fun way to draw in different Star Wars stories to say, like, this is hidden so long ago, no one knows. Because it had to have fallen into folklore for the rest of the galaxy, so it had to have been forever ago.
That's got to be a minimum of 100 years.
For
something
sure.
like that. So I would think it was way back when. Because if you think about what we saw on Aden, it was almost a perfect world. something
Yeah.
that we have not seen even on Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
So, and these droids are phenomenal. They're
They have a
really
very
good.
different shape and stuff too. Like they're
Yes,
very unique in the way they look and the way they were designed. I mean,
and
at interesting place.
they depend on them for everything. So it's interesting. There are a lot of questions. I do like it. If you look at this episode, it was rather simple. It wasn't that complex of a story. The kids are going to a friend to see if they can get the information. It looks like they did get the information. Now they have to figure it out and see where they can go. But they're now being chased. And what is the dad and all the other parents going to do on Adden at this point? Are they going to go after them?
Yeah, well, the other thing that I thought was interesting, Dad knew. He saw what happened. And it was like, I guess none of the other parents believed him, maybe. But then the droid came and said, they went off in a spaceship, and they all looked shocked. It's like, but didn't he tell them that? So I guess they didn't believe him. And I don't know. I just thought that was kind of interesting too. So
I didn't see this one. That would be a great indie rock band name, Kidnapped Pirate Crew. All right, Lethal Migraine, I appreciate that. And of course, he says he's Darth Vader's second cousin, and I live in an undisclosed location. All right, buddy, I appreciate that. It's good. This is right after the fall of the Empire. So, and I think we did get that, the implication. Or, well, no, it says that, right? In the crawl.
I think it did.
Since the fall of the Empire, the new... Yes, I still write my notes, Tyler. Sorry. I am big on still writing notes.
At least you're taking them, right? Like that's not a bad.
But
He takes lots of notes.
Michael, who was it that told us? Watch it first and then take notes after. Was that the commander from the Ark?
I think so, yes.
He told one of the actors, a significant one on the Ark on Sci-Fi, he said, dude, if you're going to watch it, then take notes.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, okay, fair enough. So yeah, I do. Unfortunately, I take a lot of notes. But all right. So what else? Gentlemen, what other plot points do you think we haven't discussed yet? Or other ideas that you may have?
Well, as you said, this was not a very complicated story, but it can still go.
Okay, but
it can go anywhere at this point.
It can go anywhere. The owl, I think the character's name was Kim. The owl made a connection with KB. That's going to be important.
Mm-hmm.
You have these other people looking for them now, and they know that there are kids aboard. And then at the spaceport, those credits, those are real. Yeah. Word's going to get out. Plus, the pirate band was trying to prevent Crimson Jack from getting away.
Yeah.
So we have those plot points, and we have Adden. So a lot of people are starting to look for them.
Other thing that it just hit me when you said something. Your thoughts on at the end of the episode when Kim the owl told the X-wing pilots, they ask, well, do you know where they were going? And she says, if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. Do you think she's going to tell them? Or do you think she's just going to keep it to herself?
Does she actually know, though?
Well, they said at Adden.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. All right, I misunderstood. You're right. Yeah.
But is she going to tell the X-wing pilots? That's what I
mean, guys, what is at Adden for us? Atlantis? Eden?
Sure.
What would it be?
Yeah.
Any and all of the above, right?
Yeah. It'd be any of those kind of, storybook, fairy tale kind of places. Where if you told me you were going to Atlantis, like I wouldn't believe you. I'd be like, all right, whatever. So I guess to them, that's what that
means. Yeah.
So why let them think that you're crazy? Like, just be like, I don't know where they're going. Makes way more sense.
Did you guys notice that when they were on the ramp, when MS-33 was there. Oh, are you guys having problems? And then I don't know if you caught it, but out of one of the mechanical arms, there was a flame that came out. It was like, are you giving problems to these kids? I thought that was kind of cool. It was like, it's like, I'm sorry. Is there something going on? I thought that was cool. The connection that MS-33 already has with these kids is really. They outthought him.
Yeah.
Well, where's the crew? We're the crew now. I'm the captain now. Like, okay.
Well, I'm curious. It'd be an interesting, kind of fun story to tell, even if they did it shortly. But how did SM-33 appear on At Aten? How long has he been there? What happened to his crew? Like, there's a couple questions there that I'm curious about. I hope they don't devote like a whole episode to it unless it's tied into something else. But it's interesting, you know, that he's just been shut down on At Aten forever.
And there was so much growth on that ship. It had been
it had been a while. So like,
yeah,
what happened there?
Decades.
And they discovered the skeletons.
Yes.
To several of the crew.
Yeah. And it looked like there's a mutiny, right? Like some
one with
that's right.
In the,
there was like a mutiny, and then the ship crashed on essentially in Atlantis, and not there forever. Like, this is an interesting thing we should talk about this a little bit at some point.
Hey, you know what? That's right. Because that was significant growth on that thing. That didn't happen in a year or two.
No.
It was underground.
Decades. It could have even been centuries. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
because weren't there like
remember they climbed down.
Yeah, it was like underground basically.
Yeah,
I mean, there were trees growing on top of it. I mean,
it may have gone in and gone under, and then the growth happened after. But still, it'd be a long time for that to happen,
and for no one on the planet to know that it happened. Right? If you got all these sensors telling, because it's so illegal for any ships to come and go.
You think they would know that happened?
That crash would have needed to happen before At Aten was even hidden. Right?
Wow. Yeah, that means it's a super old ship.
Which makes SM-33 and all that stuff on the ship itself just ancient treasure, you know?
I wonder if, in the title, astrogation, obviously it's important because they're trying to locate it. Going back to Andor, remember the believer who had written his manifesto? Didn't he have that item that he talked about, that we had lost our way because we're so reliant on the Empire now? This was true freedom. Remember, he had an astrogator or something?
Yeah.
I wonder if this craft is as old as it is, if there is something like that on there.
That would be interesting. Like in Legends, they call them star maps.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see if they had something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Tyler, this is awesome. I appreciate the insight. This is really good. You really got me going more so on this one.
What's going to happen yet? You are now. So.
Yeah. No doubt. I think Michael and I are just happy that we have another Star Wars series, because we ran into, like I said, the Acolyte, and we dodged a bullet on that one. I don't want to go any further into that because, again, it is what it is. It's done, and now we are here. And it's really good because we've done Ahsoka. I'm sorry, we have reviewed Ahsoka.
Oh, yeah, we were responsible for Ahsoka, absolutely.
Sorry, I had to be clear. And did we review Andor as well? Yeah, we did.
We did.
We? Yeah, we have. So, are you excited for Andor, Tyler?
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I'm in.
I felt the pacing of Andor. It was a slow burn. Yeah. It was a slow burn, but it was good. You know, it was like when you're eating hot wings and it's just got like that slow kind of build up to something awesome. And by the time you get there, you're ready to party. And that was what Andor was for me. I really enjoyed it.
I was really happy with that storyline. There was a lot to do. It was really good. And I did appreciate it. But I'm 3 episodes in on this one. Michael, we didn't grade the first 2 episodes because I know we haven't done that for a while.
We haven't done it for a while. We did.
I think we did yay and nay, right?
Nay, yeah.
Yes, on this one. Now, if Tyler wants to come up with the rating system, It's a bit different for every program that we do deliberately, Tyler, which means there's no consistency on our end. There's none.
But that
But-
makes it fun.
Maybe so.
No one
So-
knows what to expect.
I asked Michael on this one, let's do a yay or nay. And both of us were like, yay, on episodes 1 and 2. I imagine you were as well on
Yeah,
1 and 2.
Absolutely.
Okay. Here's my quick review on episode 3. Even though it didn't impress me with the storyline, it didn't bore me. Please, people, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed where we're going because this is Star Wars, the Star Wars universe. This isn't, two guys driving a car to, a bar to make a connection with some old owl or what. No, this is the Star Wars universe, and it's cool, it's fresh, and it's nice. It had a simple story. There's nothing wrong with that. Please
Star
don't.
Wars had a simple story. I mean, let's get real.
Yeah,
I
actually.
mean, it had a simple story. And look where that led us. So,
Well, we've talked about that. I don't know, Michael, if you've been on it, but Tyler, I've mentioned like a simple story. Are you an Aliens fan of the series Alien and Aliens?
Yeah.
Okay. Aliens. It's a love story between a mother and a daughter. That's it.
Mhm.
It is, isn't it? When you break it down, man, that's it. It really is. What is Star Wars? It is the fall of a man and the redemption by his kids. It's so simple.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it dumb. It makes it actually kind of cool. So, I'm not trying to, put down this episode or anything. It was good. I like the kids. I really do. I am more of a fan of Wim now than I was at the very beginning. I like Fran. I like the way she's wearing the Han Solo jacket. And we talked about that, Tyler. Han Solo is the hero, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for her to have a jacket similar to Han Solo, I can see that.
Yeah.
But then here's the thing. They don't know anything about that. Michael, they don't know anything about that. So I think that's just happenstance then.
Yeah, I think it was just from a costume design when they were trying to, figure out which of these characters do the kids kind of embody of your classic Star Wars crew makeup. I mean, giving some nods to Han Solo, I think, is important. And I mean, you can even look at like the chick with the glasses. That,
KB. That's KB.
She's kind of like an R2D2 style character in a lot of ways. Wim is kind of like a young Luke Skywalker, in A New Hope. He was kind of this dazed and confused, overly excited kid looking for an adventure, and that's what we're getting here. So I think they've done a really good job of embodying the classic Star Wars character makeup.
And Ellis would be Chewbacca.
Chewbacca was C-3PO. He's kind of a mix of both because he's not too serious, but Chewbacca's kind of serious, but
that's interesting because that's what I would think KB would be because of her line. I calculated the odds. That's I thought that was like a C-3PO line, but I think it's an amalgamation of all of them.
Yeah, they're not.
Here's a thought for the costumes. Think of this. If these people really haven't had contact with the outside worlds for a long time, but they did at one time, who's to say that they're the ones that developed the look and everything that Han Solo had from years and years past, and it was passed on outside, and then it got developed, and so in parallel, they come about the same thing. I'm just saying. I just think that'd be even fun.
That's cool. That's neat. I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's cool. A lot of questions. We don't
Remember,
know.
I had a costume designer on our show. Remember, so
yeah.
She rubbed off on me for some.
Oh, and Tyler, thank you for correcting me because I said MS. I said MS-33.
Yes,
I'm like,
you did. Yeah.
whoa! Had I said MS-13, I'd be in trouble in Central America. So I'm glad you caught me on that. It was SM-33.
SM-33, yeah.
Yes, and it is so difficult to come up with new and creative characters And yes, they went a little heavy on the pirate theme, but SM33 is a new character.
Yeah.
In the creative sense, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all right with it. I like it. I mean, with all the droids and characters we've seen, it is just so difficult to come up with something new. And I'm all right with that. And the whole thing of that rat's going to have something to do in one episode.
For sure.
Yes.
This is just one of my crazy little things that I hope we see, because SM33, I've heard him pronounced online from some other commentators as Smee.
Yes.
Right. And so I kind of, this is dumb, but I want to see like a little Peter Pan Smee reference brought into Star Wars. I think that would be cool.
It could very well be.
It would, I don't know. That's just my dorky thing. I think that'd be fun to.
Yeah, I was just reading something on Wikipedia. They
Yeah,
were talking about the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because they said there was a connection between directors or something. I can't remember where it was, but some thing with another Disney production, the Peter Pan and Wendy. And now I can't remember what, but I vaguely remember reading something, and it talked about Smee. So, which, I was saying, what is he talking about? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The backwards 3.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah. So I don't know. Who knows?
All right.
All these fun little things.
Yeah.
I had not read that. I like that. Okay. Well, look, on this episode, I give it a yay. I'm cool with it. I did enjoy it. Again, I'm not going to repeat that. I already said it. I did enjoy it, though, because of the creativity going over to see Kim at that observatory, whatever. That was neat.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool. I did not mention the other line where he says, "Why are we walking? Why didn't we land closer?" And then I don't know if it was KB or someone's, he's trying to hide the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool.
Smarty butt kind of line,
Yeah, so they're starting to catch on. So it was good. So, Michael, what do you think? Did you enjoy it?
I did. I enjoyed it. I am so looking forward to the rest. And I'm sad that I think it's only 8 episodes. But, I mean, I'm glad we have 8. Because, I mean, I'm really enjoying it so far. And as Roger, as you said, next week's halfway through. It's like already. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. Tyler, your thoughts?
I also thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm buckled up and ready for the ride. I just hope it doesn't disappoint by the time we get to the end. I mean, I think this next episode, episode 4, will tell us a lot. You know, if they don't set up a solid protagonist or antagonist at this point, we might be sliding downhill a little bit. But yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Okay, appreciate that. And it's a yay as well, right?
Yeah. Like I said, very excited.
Okay.
Love what we got so far.
Excellent. Tyler, any announcements for your fans, audience, anything that you want to share with us other than I know they're a bit premature, young man, but 3 weeks. Wow. Way to go. Congratulations. I am so hoping that everything goes well for you guys. Oh, sorry. No, that's not for me to shut up. That's pharmacy time.
Well, it depends, right?
It's 7:00. I have to take me pharmaceuticals. Any announcements that you would like to share with us?
Nothing that I am allowed to really get too excited about yet. And
that's terrible. Yeah,
I
understand.
No, but that's fair. It means there is something. He just can't talk about it right now. That's awesome. Very well done, man. Because that's the usual line.
Like to be in on the know, and be kind of one of the first to find out. Go follow me on my social media at Tyler Herwig Music.
There it is. And we need to set that up here on the program, and I apologize that we haven't done so. So we'll also have it playing as well, because I know you're a Star Wars fan, but dude, you do have a life and you have a lot of stuff going on, and it's very kind of you for joining us. And
give me a sec. I can throw his stuff up.
Excellent. Yeah, do that, and we have it on there for at least the very end.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Here we go. Whee!
Yeah.
There we are.
We actually still had it then from the other time.
From when he was on the other day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is cool. So, folks, there it is. Go on, head on over. go ahead, subscribe, follow, and ask him. So what were you talking about on Sunday night? He can't answer about, gosh darn it. It'll let him know that you were watching.
I'll be able to talk about it eventually.
Oh yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, and we figure as much, but we get
go.
to be jerks about it.
Yeah, well,
it's kind of
we
fun.
are sometimes.
I won't break my NDA. I promise.
Oh yeah, and then here
We don't want you to. We have that with a
Right.
lot of our guest time.
Oh, yeah.
So.
you know, and Tyler, this is a privilege for us as well. We're fans of Star Wars. We're fans of you, and you're coming over to spend some time with us, and this is absolutely awesome. Oh, and we want to thank your wife and daughter, obviously, because it's not that they're allowing you, but they're allowing you. You know what I mean.
Let's be real. They're allowing me.
Yeah, you know, I have a family as well. You know, Michael does too. So we understand that, and we do appreciate that because they're team players.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any announcements, Michael?
Only one is we have, as I said the other day, we have Aaron Vanderclay coming on early Friday morning.
5 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, I know, 5 a.m. Pacific time.
He's in Perth, Australia, Tyler.
Ooh.
Yeah, he just did. He does Star Trek fan films. He's done Doctor Who fan films, and this one's a short Star Trek fan film. And he's got one of the actors coming on with him and his person who does a lot of other work with him. So
cool.
They're coming to talk about their new little episode, and then the next day his third short comes out. So it's like it's gonna be a fun conversation. So.
And by the way, for everyone that's watching, maybe next week you can comment and ask Tyler the question: when is he going to do his Star Wars podcast?
There you go.
As soon as my music career starts to drop off,
Hell no. We want to see you do well in that.
I'm
So
doing good so far. I got a gold record over there, so
way to go,
I'm
buddy.
doing something right.
Yeah, you are. That's why you continue. You keep, and to maybe use a little bit of Peter Pan, a little bit of Star Trek. Tyler, this has been fun, but keep aiming. Second star to the right, straight on to morning. So this is so cool. Folks, that's going to be it for us right now. And you'll catch us next week, and we'll see what's going on. But don't forget to catch Star Wars Skeleton Crew. It's cool. And I got to tell you, we're smiling. We have been smiling for Star Wars for a little while now. So it's good. Thank you for everyone, the powers that be at Disney, Lucasfilm. We appreciate this, and we look forward to what you guys are doing. So we'll be here next week. All right, guys. I know for everyone else, may the Force be with you. And we'll see you guys.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.